One of my absolute best friends happens to have 4 tiny paws and a nice coat of fur. I'm not talking about a stuffed animal. I am actually talking about my cat. Her name is Samoa. Um, you know, she's always there when I need that companion and that friend and to not be lonely. And I've always had that connection with cats, in particular for me. But it got me thinking about that connection that other people have with their animals. You know, dogs, lizards, snakes, whatever your animal may be, you have a strong connection to that animal. And there's a reason behind that. And I was really curious to find out what that was. Why do we get so connected to our animals? Why do they start to feel more like kids or best friends versus an animal or pet? What is it about them? Why do we have that emotional connection so strongly with them? And in doing some research, I actually found out that animals provide physical and emotional health benefits for humans, but we also provide the same thing for them. So human-animal interaction is actually very beneficial for both humans and animals, and I'm going to tell you about those benefits today. So for starters, animals do improve physical health in humans. They do help lower blood pressure. Dog owners, for instance, they walk more. They're going to get outside more. They're going to have a healthier heart because they're constantly, they're working out more than people who don't. Which leads me to my next point of view is that they do encourage exercise. People with animals are going to get outside more than the people who don't have animals. If you have a dog, you're outside more, you're playing outside more, in the summer, you're walking them all the time. That's going to help reduce obesity. It's going to help lower cholesterol, and it's also going to help you with the heart disease. You're going to reduce heart disease because you're getting outside. Now, my favorite part about having an animal, and the one that's most beneficial to me, is the fact that they actually provide a lot of emotional fulfillment. So humans actually have a hormone that we release called oxytocin, which helps us feel more trusting and more happy. Animals actually help humans to release more of that hormone, which explains why we feel so much more happy and so much more trusting and connected to animals specifically. They also tend to act as therapists. Just like that can go two ways. You can actually look at that as a physical therapist. Think about, service dogs. They're there to help lead the blind or people who have epilepsy and things like that. They give them a service dog because that dog is there to protect them, to be that companion and that sidekick. But they also act as emotional therapists. They act as stress relievers. They help us reduce our stress levels. And like I said, they release oxytocin, makes us more happy. That in turn is going to help us reduce anxiety. It's going to help us ward off depression. We're happier people when we have animals, so we're less likely to suffer from anxiety and depression and all of those neurological things. Now, humans also have neurotransmitters that release a hormone called serotonin and dopamine. Interacting with animals, playing with animals, cats, dogs, whatever it may be, actually increases the release of those hormones. So you're actually going to feel more calm and have more pleasure in having your animal and things of that nature, just from that interaction. So they're very beneficial to our emotional state as well. Now, kind of flipping the tables, we are very beneficial to them in a lot of the same exact ways. Contrary to a lot of people's belief, animals do have the same feelings that we do. They have the same makeup. They have the same organs. They are the same thing as a person in a furry form. So human interaction to animals is actually very important. One of the main points of this is it's actually going to make them more social. They become more friendly because they have that human interaction. They become a lot more obedient as well. Animals that live out in the street, they're not going to be as friendly and social and obedient as the animals that you'll find in people's houses. It's completely different walking up to a random cat on the street and walking up to a cat that's been around this loving home and trying to pet it. There's a difference. And it's because of the human interaction. It also helps in the shelter. people don't understand that animals that go into a shelter, the people who work in the shelter still need to continue to give that human interaction every day, because that's going to improve that animal's social skills, and it's going to allow them to get adopted faster. They're more likely to get adopted by a family because they're going to be more social. They're going to be more obedient because they're still connecting with humans on a daily basis. Now, connecting with humans on a daily basis also leads to longevity in an animal's life. Just like the animals that live outside. Animals that live outside don't live as long as the animals live inside. Diseases, all that kind of stuff. But it also goes for the human interaction. Animals who don't have human interaction don't live as long as the animals who do, because they don't have that constant calming sensation. They don't have that I'm loved feeling. It's huge for an animal's life, and it's a very important aspect that people need to understand. So through doing all of my research, I realized that there are so many benefits that animals provide to us, but that we also provide to animals. And I feel like that's something that everyone should take to heart. It's kind of changed the way I look at getting an animal. I always knew there's something special about it, but it should really make you think. The next time you go to get an animal, it's not just an animal. That animal is looking for you to be not only their owner, but their companion, their best friend. They're looking for you to be that person that's going to calm them and make them happy again. I know that I did that for Sam, and she did the same exact thing for me when I rescued her. So the next time you think about adopting an animal or buying a puppy or a kitten or whatever it may be, take that into heart. Think about the fact that they're looking for you to be their lifelong companion, because they have the same feelings that we do. Remember, a simple four-legged pal can greatly influence not only yours, but their physical and emotional health as well. Thank you.